And now we're going to growth and flow. And as we said before, you can have all these positive emotions, but without growing and without having progress in life, you will not be fulfilled in life. So let's jump right into it. So in this part of the course, we're going to be really getting into how to grow. And in order to grow, we need to create goals. That's step number one to grow. I'm saying if you want to have any progress in your life, you got to know how to grow. So that's RPM. Smarter goals, we're going to get more into the details, into the steps to create goals. The big six, which are six things that one should take in consideration when taking goals. Then we're going to go into flow, and we're going to explain different ways of flow. We're going to explain different ways that you can enter flow, and then we're going to explain the 24 character strengths, which when a person applies himself to 5, there's the big 5. The 5 out of the 24 is your top strengths. When you can use your top strengths to enter flow, it will help you to enter in a state of flow. And when you use your character traits in life, it will help you grow, and grow in a way that you'll enjoy. Because when you're using your strengths in life in the growing process, it actually makes the growing process funner and easier, and it makes it more fulfilling. So let's jump into it, and you'll understand while we go through this. What do I want? If you want to create a goal, you got to know, what is my result? What is my outcome? Get super specific. Someone says, I want to lose weight. Okay, you lost 2 pounds. No. Or I want to make more money. Okay, here's $2. You got to be very clear. If you want to create goals, what is my result? What am I going for? Am I going for 6,000 pounds? I mean, wait, $6,000? Or I want to lose 100 pounds? If that's what your outcome is, you're clear on it. And if you don't have a clear outcome, a lot of times you just waste your time because you don't know what you're going for. And you start going for the goal, but you don't know exactly what you want, and you're not going to get there. So you got to be clear in what you want. Be very specific. And initially, it might be harder to make goals in this way that you know exactly where your outcome is. But the more you get used to making these goal setting, the easier it will become to create goals in this type of way. The second part of RPM is purpose. Why do you want it? Meaning, I can know exactly what I want, exactly specific. I'm going for this. I want to make money. I want to lose weight. I want to make a relationship happen. But why? If you don't have a reason, if you don't have a juice, if you don't have that emotional juice, then what's going to actually make you follow through? You got to be passionate. There has to be a reason why you want to do it. And once you have a purpose, then you're going to go for it. Then you're going to grow, and then you're going to have progress. But if you don't have that purpose, then you're not going to have that emotional drive when things get hard, or when it gets tough. You got to have a reason. You got to know why you want to do it. And then you'll be very passionate and you'll follow through. And the last part of the RPM method is you got to have massive action. You got to have a massive action plan. Okay, how do I do this? You need to go step by step. And in a second, I'm going to give you the smarter technique into creating your goal setting. But what you want to do is create this massive action plan, a step-by-step action plan, a map that you can take that will help you get to that goal. A really cool method to creating goals is called smarter goals, and it's a really cool framework because it really breaks down goals in a really cool way. And that stands for specific, measurable, action, relatable, time, evaluative, reward. Specific is similar to what we said in the first idea of RPM method, the first idea of the RPM method, which was knowing your outcome. But we said not only knowing your outcome, but be more specific exactly what you want. So the more specific you are about your goal, the better it is. The second idea is measurable. You have to be able to track it. How do you know you're having progress? Like, for example, if let's say you want to lose weight. If you lost 2 pounds the first week, you know that, hey, it's working out. And then the next week you lose another 2 pounds. And that's actually similar to what we said before regarding flow, that you need that immediate feedback, which means that, like, hey, look, this is working out. I lost weight. Okay, Now I'm doing better, Let's keep the momentum. Let's keep it going. If someone's racing, they pass one lap. You're like, okay, I see that I passed one lap. That means I'm closer to the end of the race. Action. What actions do I need? Is there certain actions I need to do? Do I need to go to the gym? Do I need to buy things? Do I need to invest in something? Relatable. Is it realistic? Is it practical? Is it something that I can actually do, or is it just a dream? Time. You got to make a deadline. Deadline is important because it keeps you actually doing the goal, because when you know you have a time, you're kind of like, you make sure that you're gonna actually do the goal every single day because you have a deadline, and that kind of gets you a little anxious, and that gets you to actually do what you need to do. Evaluate. I think it's a cool idea to read it once a week, right? Because when you read it once a week, then you're always on top of your goal. Reward. If you're able to give yourself a small reward for a milestone, I don't know, cookie, give yourself some type of break. Whatever you're able to do, try to give rewards for these small rewards. And last is small goals. You got to create small goals. If you create a huge goal, you got to create small goals that will help you reach that big goal. So you got to create a step-by-step plan and maybe journal it down. A step-by-step plan, a massive action plan, as we said before, to actually create that goal. Because if you just have that big step, you're not going to be able, because it's too far in the future. So you got to create small goals, and actually, when you actually create those small goals, it actually makes you feel excited, and try to put rewards for that small goals. Will get you excited, like, hey, look, I passed the first milestone. And Smarter Goals is a really cool method to help you create goals. You want to create this vision. You want to create this goal. You're creating this goal. You have something to accomplish. And the Big Six is an NLP method that helps people see things about themselves. And like when you want to create this goal, a lot of times there's things that stop you, and sometimes your identity stops you because you believe. Again, identity is dependent on the line under is dependent on your values and beliefs. But at a certain point, you get this belief that I'm a loser, or I'm a smoker, or I'm a loser, or I can't do things. That's not me. I'm not a person, or subconsciously believe I can't. I'm not a successful person. So when you identify yourself as that, then you're never going to be able to succeed. You're never going to be able to change. And the real way to do that is like one day you're like you have too much pain, and you decide, you know what? I'm gonna make this change. I'm gonna make this happen. And sometimes that can be in one moment. A lot of people go to workshops for that. And the idea is to create so much pain from the life that you have now. Like, this is so painful. Like, living this life and feeling like a loser is so painful. And then you also see the pleasure of what's going to happen when you actually do this, when you actually decide to take action and do this in your life. And so that's what you have to do in order to change your identity. It's like a moment, and you say, you know what? No more. This is not who I am. I'm going to change my identity. And sometimes that may take days. And then you got to know your capabilities, right? If you want to create a goal, you got to know, what could you do? Is there certain things I have to learn? Is there certain things I have to do? And behavior. Is there certain behaviors that you have to change? Is there certain things that you're so used to doing that you need to start changing? And you got to be conscious of what behaviors you do. And last thing is there certain things in the environment that stops you from doing things? For example, if you always go to the kitchen, there's always food around, maybe you should be putting away things, or maybe you should not go to the kitchen as much, right? You got to do certain things in order to create those goals. We're creating these goals, but what we really want to do is we want to create goals that we're passionate about. We want to create a goal that we lose ourselves in what we're doing, and that's called flow. And we want to not just create goals that are just important, but we want to also create, which is important to create goals that are important, but also we want to enjoy the process. We want to have a goal that we're passionate about, that we really lose ourselves in it. It's when time slows down. That's what we want. And it usually happens when there's like when someone plays music, we see that, when they're all into the music, they're completely lost in the music. When they're playing sports, they're completely involved in the game. When they're discovering something, or when they're doing something they're passionate about, they're completely one with the music. when you have a certain mission, when you're creating a course or teaching and you're completely involved. And one way, so you want to create this flow. So the real way to create flow is by finding within yourself certain strengths that when you use these certain strengths, it will help you create flow. Because when you're talented at something, you tend to be more excited about it and more passionate about it. When you can find certain character strengths within yourself and use it to grow in life, then it can be easier to fall into this flow, to really get excited and to lose yourself in the state of flow. And don't forget what we learned before, that to create flow, you need a clear goal. You need to have clear and immediate feedback. You got to know that you're growing, long-term and short-term feedback, right? And there has to be a balance between challenge and skill set, right? You got to be challenged. You got to do something that's challenging, but not too challenging, because then it'll create anxiety. But you shouldn't do something that's too easy. Flow is what makes us completely one with what we're doing. And that is the criteria of flow. That's a way that we can reach flow. So we want to enter this flow state. We want to grow in a way that we enjoy the process and that we're passionate about it and that we lose ourselves in it. But, a really cool way to get to there is by what Martin Seligman actually wrote, through the 24 character traits. And when you use your top 5 strengths within these 24 character strengths, whichever one applies to you the most, when you use it within your life, within your goal setting and all aspects of your life, then you'll be able to enter flow much more easily and actually enjoy the process of getting there. So the first one is courage. Courage is going all the way. It's going in the face of adversity, and there's really 3 character strengths within that. The first one is integrity. Integrity means being honest. Not just in your words, but living in a genuine way. You actually do what you say. You're not just an honest person in the fact that you don't lie, but you're a genuine person. You're someone that, is a truthful person, someone that actually lives in a way that is to the truth, to what he believes is true. The second is valor and bravery. And this means you act with mental, moral, or physical strength, even when you know things are difficult or scary. So you face danger in spite of fear. Or moral courage is taking a stance that is not so popular, right? Or psychological bravery, psychological courage is when you are brave, even when there's a lot of stress. Perseverance is someone that you finish what you start. Someone that goes all the way. You're a good cheer and you complain minimally. And it does not mean you're a perfectionist and you always do everything perfectly, but you're someone that has a trait that you go all the way and you do what you do what is right and what you start. Wisdom. We all have wisdom, but everyone has their own strength within wisdom. The first one is perspective. You see all the sides of the situation. You see the bigger picture. You see, that's when you're able to give good advice, because you're able to see both sides. You make good decisions. Then there's social, personal, and emotional intelligence, which means it's more of an emotional intelligence. It's you know yourself well. It's more than emotions. You really get to know yourself and others. You're aware of the motives and feelings of others, and you respond well to them. You see, you're very good socially and emotionally. You really get them. So social intelligence means you know the difference among other people. You know the mood, their temperament, their motives, their intentions, and you act according to these distinctions between different people. And on a more personal level, when you get to know yourself, meaning you really get to know your feelings. And you know how to use that knowledge to guide your behavior. And you can also use this knowledge to maximize your skills, because you really know yourself. And the more you get to know yourself, the more you're able to know what skills you're able to do, and you get to really know what's the best way for me to handle the situation? That's why you'd be good at marriage and a job, because you know, that's why you're also a good leader, because you really get to know yourself and you know how to respond accordingly, and you know exactly what would be the best way for you to approach the situation. So you're very you're very emotionally mature. So that's a very big one. And if you want to know more about this, go check out I think his name is Don. I forgot exactly his name, but he's the famous guy of emotional intelligence. I don't know, it just slipped my mind. The next one of wisdom is curiosity. Curiosity means you're open to experience. You want to learn new ideas, explore. Sometimes curiosity can be very specific to a certain idea, or can be very general. You're curious about the world. You're actively engaged. The opposite of curiosity is boredom. The next one is creativity and street smarts. You're very creative. You come up with new ideas or behaviors, which are useful for yourself and the life of others. You like doing new things. You're very creative and you like to see new things. You know, a lot of creative people are invent things and see things from a creative point of view. Judgment. Judgment is seeing the thing for what it is. You're critical thinking. You're really judging the situation. You will only take solid evidence. You don't jump to conclusions. You're able to change your mind and see the truth. See it for what it is. You know, and you're not black and white thinking. You can see that there can be a gray area. The opposite is to just confirm what you really believe instead of really critically thinking. The next part of wisdom is love of learning. You love learning. You have a passion. You hold on and deepen the information. You like to really get deep into the information. You have an expertise. Eventually, after you learn so much, you become an expert. You love school. You love museums. You love learning about the world. The next one is humanities, which is a positive interaction with others. The first one is kindness and generous. You know, those people that are kind are amazing, right? They're never too busy to do favors. Even if you don't know them, they still do favors, you know, to strangers. Caring for others' best interest, and sometimes it can even overrun your own wishes. Empathy and sympathy play a big role in this trait. Next one is love and receive love. You know, a lot of people um, value close relationships. Actually, men are more common to love but don't receive love. They have a harder time receiving love. But a lot of us, right, that's one of the human needs is to love. And this can be one of your top strengths. Justice is how you relate to the larger group, like family, community, and the world. One of them is fairness. A character strength would be fairness. Do you give everyone a chance? Are you guiding in your day-to-day life by larger principles of morality? Are you really fair? Can you set aside prejudices? Do you care about the welfare of others you don't even know? And you have this trait of fairness. Leadership. A leader is someone that organizes activities and see to it that they happen. The human leader is someone that must first all be and has to be an effective leader, attending to getting the group roles done while maintaining a good connection with the group members. So we need that firmness with the kindness. So he's attending to everyone in the group, but yet has a good connection with everyone. The next one is citizenship, loyalty, and teamwork. Do you excel as a member of the group? And do you do your share? Do you value group goals even when they differ from your own? Do you have respect for authority like teachers and parents? Temperaments, your temperament inside. So humility and modesty. Are you someone that doesn't sit in the spotlight? Do you see yourself as Do you see your strength as a gift from above and it's not you, it's just a gift? Prudence and caution. Are you a careful person? Are you someone that doesn't say uh, things that you're going to regret or do things that you're going to regret? Do you resist short-term goals to get long-term success? Especially in dangerous situations, are you cautious in a world where there could be danger in the playground, in school, or at night? Self-regulation, self-control, and discipline. Can you control your impulses? When things go bad, can you regulate your emotions? Can you find joy even in times of stress? The last one is transcendence. This trait connects you to things above. Appreciation of beauty and excellence. Do you connect? Do you appreciate physical beauty, skill or talent, moral goodness, science, sports, the beauty of the world? Gratitude, which is very connected to kindness and love. Are you grateful for people and the divine? But you can't have gratefulness towards yourself. Are you grateful for good things and, and good people? Optimism and hope. Do you expect the best for the future? Transcendence, playfulness and humor. Playfulness and humor is finding the lighter side to things. You make other people smile and you create a good mood. You're the guy that is fun. Spiritual forgiveness. Are you always give people a second chance? Is your guiding principle mercy, not revenge? Spirituality and purpose. Do you have meaning, purpose to your life? Do you have a connection with a higher power? Are you religious? Do you enjoy spiritual experiences? Are you a strong believer? Zest and enthusiasm. Do you throw yourself into things? Are you excited for the day? Do you feel inspired? So those are the 24 character strengths. Now go to authentichappiness.org and please do yourself a favor and find those 5 strengths and use it in your life. So what these character strengths are something that you can say, this is me, this is the real me. It's a feeling of excitement. Or it might be like a sense of yearning for ways to use it. It's or maybe it gives you energy. It gives you joy. It gives you zest. It gives you enthusiasm. And the best is to learn different ways to use this strength. That would be very, very helpful. But go to authentichappiness.org and please find your 5 strengths. Apply it to your work. Apply it to your play. Apply it to your marriage. Apply it to your parenting and apply it to your personal development. Try to apply these things to all aspects of your life. And this ends this portion of the course, and the next portion of the course we're going to be discussing meaning, because you can be growing and you can be thriving, but if you don't have meaning in your life, then you're not going to be happy.